Okay, so today I will start with a topic of sex determination and an overview. So let's get back to the screen first. Tell me when my voice is not audible or something is not visible. Hope the screen is visible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Part of your genetics course
Yes.
starts. Okay, overview on sex determination. So, an interesting aspect of sex is that there are always two parties involved. One party is known as the male, and the other party is known as the female. Do you people agree with this?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Many people call about the third sex or the things like this, but actually they are not fertile, or even if they are fertile, actually it is either a combination of male and female together. They are nothing unique. Do you know about any species where there are more than two sexes?
স্যার হার্মাফ্রোডাইটের ক্ষেত্রে তো দুটো সেক্স।
মেল আর ফিমেল বাদ দিয়ে আরেকটা কোনো কিছু রয়েছে অ্যাপার্ট ফ্রম দ্য টু সেক্সেস, এনি স্পিসিস which have got more number of sexes? Hermaphrodite কি মেল and female in one organism?
স্যার ওইটাই বলছি।
হ্যাঁ, কিন্তু the question is any species which have more than two species, more than two species বলছি, two sexes. Say if male is X, female is Y, uh, is there any species which has got something like a Z? Three sexes. মনে পড়ছে হ্যাঁ কি না?
No, sir.
না স্যার মনে পড়ছে।
Where there is sex involved, more than, মানে X is mating with Y, X is mating with Y is mating with Z is mating with X, এরকম করে আছে Z is mating with Y. Have you heard of such any organization where more than two sexes are involved? Actually, in our so far in our Earth, it is not heard of. So there is something like a male gamete will come, and something like a female gamete will come, and they will fuse together and form the zygote. So a critical thing then starts. Therefore, a critical thing starts is what are the types of sex determination? Determination in the animal kingdom. So you can have a say type of sex determination which will be which we will read. It is a genetically controlled sex determination. Genes are involved. Metabolically controlled controlled sex determination. Sex can be determined through genes, through metabolism, under height. Then it can be determined via hormones, hormonally controlled sex determination. I'll give you a task to find out examples. And you have environmentally controlled sex determination. So you have four types of essentially sex determination mechanisms. You can call them as sex mechanisms. So let us concentrate our studies first with genetically controlled genetically controlled sex determination mechanisms. Among them, the first one you can think about is sex chromosome mechanism. This is the presence of heterogametes. So, sex chromosome X and Y are the sex chromosomes. The second one is what happens in humans. The second one is the genic balance mechanism. It happens in Drosophila. The third one is male haploidy or haplodiploidy mechanisms. And one more thing is single gene control. One gene controls the sex mechanism. So let us go to the sex chromosome. Sex chromosome. So it was actually discovered by a person known as Henkin. (1891). He was studying spermatogenesis in wasps. Wasp. While studying them under the microscope, he noticed a specific nuclear structure. He noticed a specific nuclear structure. Half the sperms received this structure and half did not. He called it something like an X body. Then McClung, quite known for his work on this, in 1902. During this time, Mendel's work was being rediscovered, and the field of genetics was also developing. He was studying the spermatogenesis of grasshoppers. And he found that this particular X body was involved in determination of sex. He noted that the somatic cells or body cells, somatic cells of grasshopper, the females had 24 chromosomes and males had 23 chromosomes. The next person to work on this was E.V. Wilson. In 1905, another insect protector found that females have got 7 pairs of chromosomes which looks as and males they had 6 pairs chromosome plus 1 unpaired. He called this unpaired chromosome as X chromosome. So X chromosome was the first sex chromosome to be discovered. So far, is it clear with everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
very good. Now let us look at the structure of an X chromosome. It is a structure of the sex chromosome. Basically, it is in most of the organism, the X chromosome is straight, rod-like, and comparatively longer Then Y chromosomes. Y chromosome is also a sex chromosome. The X chromosomes, they have large euchromatin. Now, what is euchromatin and what is heterochromatin? Euchromatin, also called true chromatin, and heterochromatin is chromatin which is condensed. It is a lot condensed. Mostly, it is inactive. There is no transcription, translation, or gene activity taking place over there. In this euchromatin, there it is actually diffused, not condensed so much, and it takes less stain, but these are assumed to be uh, more active regions. So these euchromatins, they have a large amount of DNA, and hence more genetic information. In contrast, Y chromosome, they have smaller euchromatin, hence little genetic information. Sometimes people call it, since less it is there, they call it inactive or inert. So let us look at the anatomy of the Y chromosome. Let's draw it large. Somewhat one side is one arm is long and one arm is short, and let's use this color. There is a region, in this region, this is known as par 1. Then another region is present over here. It is known as SRY region. Another region here is the kinase. It is responsible in cell cycle control. Then another region is there. It is strange. It is no responsible in tooth enamel formation. Another region is present here. That is present in bone formation. This region is responsible in sperm development. Another region is for the present over here, and that is known as AZF region. It is the Azuspermia factor. And very importantly, I'm using another rainbow color. I'm marking this region. This region, it is known as the this region up to this, not the top. It is male specific region. Male specific region. It is also known as the non recombining region, or MSY. This is the basic structure of a Y chromosome. Anatomy. So, let's take the black pen back again. There are regions known as PAR1 region. Oh, I've forgotten one more region here. This region, it's known as PAR2. Okay. Now we can let's talk about the anatomy. You have this PAR region, a region known as the pseudo autosomal region. That is the PAR1 and PAR2 region. As you know, a component, one from the mother and one from the father, is present in an individual. And normally during meiosis, crossing over takes place. And such events occur in autosomes, mostly, and in female in the X chromosomes of the female. Normally, the X chromosome and Y chromosomes have almost no common.
স্যার কি লেফট হয়ে গেছে নাকি?
হ্যালো,
হ্যালো স্যার।
কতক্ষণ গেছে?
স্যার অনেকক্ষণ গেছে। আপনার 6 মিনিট হলো, বেশি হয়নি। ওই
ইন্টারনেট চলে গেছিল।
হুম, ওই সার্চ ইভেন্ট অকার ইন অটোজোমস ওই অবধি হয়েছে।
কত অবধি?
ওই তো ক্রসিং ওভারটা যেটা দেখালেন, মেল ফিমেল দেখালেন, তারপর ক্রসিং ওভার দেখিয়ে বললেন যে সার্চ ইভেন্ট অকার ইন অটোজোমস। তারপর
ভাট বকে যাচ্ছি, রেকর্ডিংও করা হয়নি, রেকর্ডিংটা গুগল মিটে হচ্ছে। ইডিয়েট, মানে এগুলো ভীষণ ইরিটেটিং। আমি এই নেটওয়ার্ক কানেকশনটা বন্ধ করে দেবো। ইডিয়েট, ইডিয়েটের মতন জিনিসটা হলো। দাঁড়াও দেখি কোথায় আছে। নিজের মনে আমি বকে যাচ্ছি।
স্যার আমি হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেসেজ করেছি, দেখুন।
হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ আর কোথায় দেখছি আমি এখন?
হুম,
কোথায় হচ্ছে ক্রসিং ওভার, মানে এই যে সার্চ ইভেন্টস অকারিন এইখান থেকে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
ওকে, মানে ওয়াই ক্রোমোজোমটা বুঝিয়েছি।
হ্যাঁ, ওটা তো অ্যানাটমিটা বুঝিয়েছেন, অ্যানাটমি অফ ওয়াই ক্রোমোসোম
অ্যানাটমিটা
তো বুঝিয়েছেন।
বুঝিয়েছি।
হ্যাঁ,
তারপরে
তারপরেরটা।
মানে such events occur in chromosome autosomes right here.
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ।
Okay, now a few more things about
স্যার স্যার
হ্যাঁ,
স্ক্রিনটা শেয়ার করেননি।
হোয়াইট বোর্ডটা শেয়ার করে নিন।
এই কারেন্ট অফ হয় আর এটা চলে যায়, মানে আমি এদেরটা বন্ধ করে দেবো। আমি মানে বড্ডই ইরিটেটিং লাগছে আমার এদের। কারেন্ট চলে গেল, নেটওয়ার্কটা পাট করে বন্ধ হয়ে গেল, আবার এসে গেল 2 সেকেন্ডের মধ্যে। ওদের নেটওয়ার্ক আমি তো বুঝতে পারছি না, কারণ আহ, আমার তো ইনভার্টার, এরা এদের অফ করে দিচ্ছে নেটওয়ার্কটা। ওকে, সো এবার এবারে এই অ্যানাটমি এইটা এইটা পড়িয়েছি এই জায়গাটা।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, অ্যানাটমি পড়িয়েছেন।
অ্যানাটমিটা পড়িয়েছি।
হুম।
ঠিক আছে, আমি আরো 10 মিনিট পড়িয়ে তোমাদের ছেড়ে দেবো, আবার এটাকে কন্টিনিউ করতে হবে। আজ ভেবেছিলাম শেষ করে দেবো,
ওই যে
কারণ
স্যার দ্য এক্স ক্রোমোজোম ওয়াই ক্রোমোজোম হ্যাভ অলমোস্ট নো কমন, ওখান থেকে ওই অত দূর অব্দি বুঝিয়েছেন, তারপর
ওকে ওকে
চলে গেল।
ওকে, সো this was the anatomy of the Y chromosome, and this par region, it is the pseudo autosomal, it is also known as the pseudo autosomal region, par 1 and par 2 over here. I have missed out part 2, so par 1 and part 2. So the X chromosome and Y chromosome, they have almost no common region for crossing over. And basically for crossing over or recombination, there are no homologous regions present in this region. No homologous regions present. And recombination with X takes place in this pseudo autosomal region. So this pseudo autosomal region which is present over here, the pseudo autosomal region which is present over here, recombination between X and Y. Normally we know that in the females, in X chromosomes, there is a crossing over which takes place. X chromosomes in the in X, আমি আরেকবার এখানে করে দিচ্ছি এটা। In normal cases, crossing over takes place, crossing over or recombination takes place between X and X chromosomes in female and autosomes in both males and females. That is because both the pairs, because they are paired and contain homologous genes. Okay, Hannah bolo.
Yes, sir.
Okay. They are
Yes, sir.
present and contain homologous genes. Now, in the case in males, X and Y almost does not have homologous genes. So, no crossing over or recombination, because this takes place in homologous chromosomes. This takes place in non-sister homologous chromosomes, and they are non-sister homologous chromosomes, but they are different. They are not homologous. But recombination takes place, or crossing over takes place, in this region, part 1, and in this region, part 2. This is what is mentioned over here. Recombination with the X takes place here, and that is 5% of the chromosomes. So, this region contains genes which are shared with X chromosome, and the rest is the male specific region. Clear? And this
Yes, sir.
male specific region, they contain 95% of the chromosomes, and specially two genes, SRY and AZ5, and they are needed for sperm production. Now we have started sex determination in humans, and this sex determination is as a result of the dominant effect of SRY gene product. So I had drawn X chromosome and female of a zygote. So the product of SRY is something known as product of this SRY gene is something known as TDF, or this is the testis determining factor. ওকে, দিস ইজ দ্য টেস্টিস ডিটারমিনিং ফ্যাক্টর। শোনা যাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
ওকে, কতজন বেরিয়ে গেছে আমি জানি না, কিন্তু so this is produced in the female. There is no SRY gene, no TDF. Now this is the embryonic gonad. Whether it will form the testes or ovaries, it is the same in both males and females before this takes place. And lack of TDF by default female and ovaries will form. And because of the presence of TDF, the embryonic gonad will become testes. And when the testes is formed, it will produce testosterone. And because of the testosterone, male secondary sexual characteristics develop. Clear?
Yes sir.
Okay. So I end this here. So we today we finished at least sex determination in humans. So the trick was this. The key point was this SRY gene, the dominant effect of SRY gene, absent in males, by default ovary. By default we are all females, but when this SRY gene produces TDF, and that makes it into the testes, and testosterone is produced, and we develop secondary male secondary characters, Darigop. Okay. So by this we end today's class. We will continue this day after tomorrow again. Or we can continue this tomorrow also. কালকেও আমি free আছি. So I will actually send you the link. I will send you the link. So do you people have got any questions? এই so far এটার মধ্যে বোঝার জন্য?
No sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. Then I'm ending my class today here. Sorry for the disruption of my internet. It happened and I could not understand also when it